Hey everybody, we're Tillison Consulting and we love digital marketing, and you're listening to the Inside Digital podcast. This is your one-stop shop to learn and expand your knowledge within the digital marketing space. It's never been more important to have an online presence, and in this show, our experts will talk about SEO, PPC, and everything in between. They'll share their personal insights, experiences, and strategies they're taking advantage of so the rest of us can do the same. Here's today's episode. Hello there, welcome to this episode of Inside Digital. I'm Tom Hughes, campaign manager for Tillison Consulting, and I run a lot of Facebook ads as well. And I'm here joined with Afia Brown.
Hello, nice to be here again, talking about Facebook ads.
Yeah, if you watched episode 3, the last episode, then you will find us both talking about Facebook ads again, or previously, and we had a good time, didn't we?
You did,
It was good fun. It's worth watching that one, definitely. But this one delves more into the psychology of Facebook ads and how you can create them to make them convert. Yeah, so Facebook ads they're on your newsfeed, but they're not there. Someone's not looking for them, are they? No. Right. So you need the person to stop scrolling. That's the ultimate thing.
Exactly, yeah. Facebook ads has a lot less intent behind them, as you said.
Yeah.
Like if you're comparing it to a search ad, for example, people are searching for that, but it's just showing up. So yeah, it's all about stopping that scroll so that you're advertising to them without them knowing that they, are being advertised.
Exactly. Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Because whatever business you're in, you have to find that way of making that user stop scrolling. And that's hopefully where we can help you in this podcast. We're going to try and give you some tips on how to make that user stop and ultimately, hopefully, convert through that Facebook ad. So yeah, we'll start off with question 1. We've got a few questions to go through from quite popular questions actually asked on Google and on Facebook as well. So we thought we'd go through them just to see, just to give our knowledge, our insights as well, and just talk about how you could hopefully create a Facebook ad that converts. How do psychological principles play a crucial role in crafting high converting Facebook ads? That's a big question, obviously. I mean, Facebook, or all advertising, I guess, is psychological, isn't it, really, when it comes to it? You've just got to make sure you are hitting the right notes with the right audience. And that's number one, isn't it? That is the number one thing.
Yeah, I think the first thing to really think about is your audience, targeting the right audience and understanding them is really key to, advertising to them. Like, for example, if you think about the audience of perhaps somebody who likes McDonald's to somebody who wants to buy a Rolls Royce, there's completely different audiences. And the principles that you apply to a McDonald's ad or a Rolls Royce ad are, majorly different.
Yeah,
you have to understand that to appeal to the people that you want to advertise to.
Yeah, so the key thing is obviously and you probably hear this a lot as advertisers or even as business owners, is to know your audience. Isn't it?
Definitely.
And that rings true through Facebook, through Google, through all of them. So yeah, to know your audience is the number one thing. And once you know that, then you can sort of whittle it down to know exactly what you can do with your audience to help them convert.
And to understand your audience, you have to test, don't you? You have to see what they like. You're not going to get it perfect straight away because it's hard to understand people. So you need to understand your audience by testing lots of different ads.
Yep.
To begin with, you can't just stick with one and think that's going to work. It might not.
No. We know that in Facebook ads you can A/B test.
Yeah.
It's a really helpful thing because obviously you can run one image against another image, and they could be very slightly different, but the psychological terms with someone looking at that image, it might make them convert. You never know. And then you could do a video versus another video, a video versus an image, and the list goes on. You could literally just A/B test everything until you find the exact thing that your target audience wants to convert with.
Yeah, definitely. Without that you're just not going to use Facebook ads as well as you possibly could. And also understanding that your audience will change.
Yep.
You might have an ad that works great for a few weeks and then it might suddenly just drop off. And it could be that your audience changes. It could be external factors as well, particularly changing their thoughts and the way that they like to read, and see ads.
We mentioned before as well that your ads are likely to be served to the same person over and over again.
Exactly.
But if you're A/B testing the same ads with a different image, might be served to the same person twice. So they might see the same ad with two different looks.
Yeah.
And one of them is going to resonate more, hopefully, with them than the other.
Yeah.
So that might, again, make them convert more. And that's how you learn what your audience likes. So in the age of information overload, as we know the internet is these days, and short attention spans, how can advertisers effectively use psychological principles and maintain the attention of Facebook users amidst a sea of competing content? So really, what works?
Yeah.
Really?
Really, really hard question, I think, because again, the answer will probably be different like next year to what we'll probably say, but definitely video is the really catching thing at the moment, I think.
Yeah, we're comparing it to images, for example. Videos does seem to be way more engaging. I'm sure a lot of you know already, but it's just see if you can create video, and I would just ignore images altogether, really, and just try and get that video content out there as much as possible.
Yeah. And funnily enough, one of the psychology things about Facebook ads is kind of slipping into the feed almost.
Mm-hmm.
We often say that when you're creating an ad, and the content should kind of not look like an ad, because otherwise people are just going to automatically scroll by. Yep. They're used to that now. So perhaps something that is like a candid photo of somebody enjoying I don't know, going to a theme park, for example, but it looks like an image that perhaps one of your friends would take and upload, that's going to make them stop. So just kind of thinking about what your audience are already seeing and not making it look too much like an ad.
Exactly, yeah. It's nice, isn't it, when you see something like that and you can almost relate to it in a way.
It's all about relating, definitely.
Yeah. But there are other... So visual appeal is the main thing, because obviously a Facebook ad is built of three components: the text, the actual image itself or the video, and then the CTA. The image is obviously the crucial part. You have to mostly get right. So it works hand in hand with all the other. So visual appeal is number one, I think, in my books at least.
Yeah. And then I think the next one to mention is kind of the urgency, applying that to your ad, saying, for example, a January sale, that creates an urgency. It might be the same sale you have on all year, but when you kind of slightly just change it to say January sale, people are going to act faster, aren't they? Because they don't want to miss out. So definitely creating that sense of do it now, otherwise, you're going to miss out this great deal, works really well, I think, and makes them stop, makes them click, could make them convert, rather than just saying, I've got 50% off. But how long? It could be for 6 months. Fine, I'll visit you in 6 months' time.
Yeah,
but,
really add that scarcity, urgency, that sort of thing to the images. You can add that as overlays. You can add that in the copy, and you can even add it in a little headline next to the CTA as well to really emphasize and give it that push as much as possible, especially for e-commerce businesses out there. It really helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Another one as well is clear call to actions. Massive thing, because obviously you're an advert. It's an advert. It has to have a reason to be there. So you really want to push why it's there in the first place and what is the next thing that user can do. And this can be done in many different ways, kind of, especially with us in a psychological sort of standpoint, I guess, because it's the way it's written, where it's written, how it's presented to the user as well. There's quite a lot of factors within the CTA.
Yeah, and I think also trying to be clever with your CTA, again, a psychological thing of not directly saying perhaps buy now, but perhaps like don't let this deal get away from you or something like that.
Yeah.
That's indirectly telling somebody to make an action, I think works really well, because again, they don't like to be told what to do.
No, yeah.
They don't like to be advertised to, they don't like to be told what to do, so avoid those things.
And that lands in with the sort of candid photo side of things as well. Like if the CTA isn't as salesy, I guess, as well with the image as well, then it doesn't look more like an ad, and psychologically that might be better for the user. So yeah,
I think some really great ads don't have a call to action almost. Sometimes, for example, you might be driving by and you on a bus shelter, you'll see like a KFC advert that's just, I don't know, a bucket of chicken. Yeah. And it just makes you think, oh, I want a KFC.
Yeah,
that's
so true.
An action. Yeah. So, getting to that point is really powerful. Almost, letting them make the decision to convert rather than telling them to convert.
And we always say that Facebook ads are primarily for brand awareness, because you trying to get your brand out there to people that necessarily weren't looking for your brand at the first place. You're interrupting them on their feed, and your creative or your copy or whatever it wants to make them stop and get to know your brand without them wanting to know your brand in a way. But yeah, so it helps a lot when if you put all these psychological elements in place, then you can actually create an ad that works and converts straight away as well. Even if it's your first campaign and it is a brand awareness campaign that's not primarily created to convert, it still can, because you have gone into their brains and you have sort of pinched it where you need to pinch to make it work. So
which sounds really evil when you put it like that.
I know, yeah.
Twisting their minds, but
yeah, they don't know it as well, do they? That's the thing. I guess that is the primarily advertising and marketing, isn't it? But, yeah. And one thing that definitely does this and can resonate with almost anyone is social proof.
Yeah, that's definitely a really big thing, and I think that's probably why influencer marketing just works incredibly well, because it's, again, it's that I'm not being advertised to. I'm just watching a fun video of someone enjoying a product or saying that they love this thing. That's again, it might not be the thing that pushes them to convert, but it's just another step in the funnel to make them convert, knowing that somebody that they know perhaps likes this product or service or something like that. I
always say that people tend to do what others have already done before them, and that's pretty much true wherever you go, really, isn't it? It's just if you see a positive experience or someone's had a positive experience, then you want that positive experience. So why would you not? Well, if you're in the market, I guess, why would you not go and do it as well?
Yeah, exactly.
And that works with services and products as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, majorly. It's like if you're, walking by two restaurants, one's really busy, one's dead. You're going to go into the busy one because you trust each other almost, don't you? Really, weirdly, trust these strangers. And again, it just works so well. If you have a website, for example, that has no testimonials, no social proof, it's not going to work as well as a competitor who might have thousands of reviews.
Yeah, no, that falls into a thing called the pratfall effect, which is interesting CR conversion rate optimization sort of principle, where it's creating positive experiences through a negative, I guess. That's what kind of it is. So, for example, back to your KFC analogy, the KFC, remember the time when KFC ran out of chicken, their main products, but they sort of rolled on this bad disaster that happened. And they put out a cover marketing campaign. You might have seen it with the F. They sort of rearranged their letters FCK on the side of a bucket, and just sort of played on how bad the experience was. But because they did that, it created so much more engagement. They actually got more sales from it, and it was just they turned a negative into a positive.
Yeah, and that's a psychology thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Kind of recognizing that this brand is human. You like that rather than just like a robotic, faceless kind of company. You want
exactly.
To engage with them, don't you?
Yeah, it wasn't just like throwing their chicken down your face, because they couldn't, because they hadn't have any left. But but it was literally they resonated with their audience and it worked. Yeah. So that's where the pratfall effect and sort of social of it all comes in. You just want to resonate with the audience as much as possible.
Yeah.
And be as social as possible, really. So when we're talking about social proof, and obviously it's quite well recognized in marketing. You need that experience for people to use your product, hopefully, or service. So how can advertisers harness social proof within Facebook ads? So what can you show, I guess?
Yeah. Really? I think kind of touching on that point of influencers again, or just somebody filming a video, or having a quote of somebody saying, "Oh, I really love this coffee," for example. "I love waking up in the morning and just drinking this coffee from this company." That works really well. Again, it's just trusting, knowing that it's an unbiased opinion, a genuine opinion of this company, and that works really well. And you can use that in Facebook ads. You might just have a campaign that's just purely "Oh, I love this coffee," and that's all it is. You're not telling them to buy. It's just that social proof. Could work really well for you, especially if perhaps you're a new company and don't have many people behind you. You want to gather that audience, and to do that, you can start with social proof.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's hard, isn't it? Because social proof, you want as many reviews,
yes,
as many testimonials as you possibly get, good ones, obviously. So people will then hopefully use your service after them. But there is kind of a darker side to it, I guess, where a psychological darker side, where if you were to compare two restaurants, one had all 5-star ratings and the other had maybe all 5-star rating with a few 4-star ratings. So their overall rating was 4.6, but they had way more reviews. Whereas this other one with 5-star ratings had 3 or 4 reviews.
Yeah.
Now you think that maybe the 5-star ratings is great, so that's the place to go to. But really, you actually probably want to go to the one with the lesser reviews, because they are definitely more honest. They seem to have more reviews, and people have had more experience at that place, and they know probably how to treat you as a customer.
Yeah. You don't want to be too perfect.
No,
people don't trust that, because nobody's perfect, right? So again, as you say, if you've got 200 reviews and it's 4.6 overall, rather than a restaurant with 5 stars and 2 reviews from their mum and dad, like it's not as trusting. So you have to kind of,
it's about building that trust, isn't it? That's the key thing.
Yeah. So don't be down if you get a lower review. It might actually work for you because you look more genuine.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Using that is a good idea.
And I know it was good to use these reviews inside on your website, as well as badges of people that you trust badges, badges of people that you've worked with, and all that as well. But if possible, you can add these as overlays to the images or videos inside your Facebook ads as well. Don't just bombard them with 5-star reviews, because that probably wouldn't work as well as relatable video and content, stuff like that. But it's always good to try and at least show what sort of experience people have had with you beforehand. Through Facebook ads, within that 1 second you have with that customer, because they're scrolling through their Facebook feed.
But I think also it's worth noting that you have to be clever with the social proof that you're showing, and knowing that your audience will resonate with that. For example, if you're showing some clients that you've worked with, think of a client that's similar to what your audience would enjoy. Because if it's a client that they've never heard of, it's not relevant to them, then it's not going to work as well as perhaps a more known company to the audience.
Yeah, that's it. Really, your ultimate goal is to provide value to that specific user. Or you probably hear provide value all the time, but that's it, isn't it? If that Facebook ad provides value to the person seeing it, you've won. That's actually it. That is the win you want. So, and they're going to hopefully follow through to the website, still like what they see, and convert.
So great, we've just gone over kind of the social proof, and knowing that it's really important to understand your audience in order to show them good Facebook ads that psychologically works well to converting them into customers. It's been really great chatting about that with you, Tom.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's super interesting how the brain works, isn't it? When it comes to Facebook ads, it's like anything, I guess. But it's just know your audience, number one, really, and just try and figure out how they would engage with your Facebook ads. Definitely, is the pinnacle of this, really. But
cool. Well, thank you so much for listening, everyone, and we'll see you again for another episode of Inside Digital.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Inside Digital podcast. Make sure to visit our website at tillison.co.uk, where you can read more about the topics discussed in this show and much more. If you're looking to get started or to continue your digital marketing journey, we can help. Just reach out to one of our experts through our website. We'd love to hear if you found value in the show. Please leave a review and be sure to tune in for our next episode.